I'm ready.
Right, so this is the first episode. This is going out. We've had about 75 false starts where Dean's told us we were going out, we weren't going out. This is right, this isn't right, I don't like it. I do like the one we've done before, but let's give it another go. So this is LooseCast.
I didn't like that one.
This is LooseCast. I'm Felix Leiter. This is Dean Saunders. This is Anth Hepburn. And what we're going to do is try and make each other laugh on a podcast. We're going to film it and we're going to stick it out. What we're also going to do is get some guests on. We're going to speak to some cool people. We've got people mainly from the Northeast to start, but who knows after that? We're going to speak to some DJs, musicians, comedians, basically just people who give us a bit of crack, make us laugh, and have got an interesting story. On Saturday night, that's about 3 days ago, we recorded with Schak.
I really wanted to say I didn't like it to start again, but I honestly thought at this stage he may punch me in the face.
Why did you think it was going to be bad?
Because I didn't speak on it. I'm sorry, bad for me, good for everyone else. It's not started yet. We're doing a full-on moment when it starts.
Why did you think it was going to be bad?
Is this just practice?
Did you think your hair was out of place?
Hair was out of place. I was out of place.
Apparently he doesn't want to sit there anymore because he's got a bald spot on that side of his head.
Cut my head open.
How did you do that?
Saving an old woman.
Tell the truth.
Are we going to start properly?
tell the truth. We started minutes ago.
No way. Well, 48 seconds ago, I can see. Don't worry, I can always see the timer. The laptop.
You cut your head open saving an old biddy.
No, I fell over in the bathtub when I was like 1.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you on your own?
So see, your mum just can't watch this, a 1-year-old just kicking
It's
the
also a lie. I tell everyone that. It's actually a lie. I've never told anyone the truth.
What's the truth?
Safe
word.
I was just born with it. But I always tell everyone.
Oh, you were born with a bald spot?
Yeah, I was. I just tell everyone I fell over.
Have you got one like round the back? No.
But
Is there any baldness in your family?
I think so, but apparently it won't affect me. Is it from your mum's side?
Mate, I've got to dig into this. Who's told you it's not going to affect you?
This isn't like part of the thing.
I've just missed this.
I've just missed this chat. Who's told you that it won't affect you?
My barber. No, I'm joking. No, isn't it if it comes from your mum's side?
Have you Googled this?
what, that it won't affect you if it comes from your mum's side?
No, it does affect you from your mum's side. It doesn't from your dad's.
Do you know what I always used to get confused about? Which side you wore an earring in if you were... Which sexuality
Left if you're a bloke, right if you're George Michael.
Wham.
True.
Bam. Thank you,
True.
Anth. About a year ago, I messaged Dean and said, I'd love to do a podcast with you. And he said, funnily enough, we've just been talking about that.
About a year ago, I messaged Dean, and about 10 months ago, Dean replied.
A few months later, I was half cut somewhere. I think I'd been in the chili, and we ended up having a phone conversation. And I spent about half an hour just saying how mint it would be with no real substance as to what it would be about or how it would happen. And then now, after months and months and months of practice and mucking about, we're here, and we recorded our first interview on Saturday night with Schak. We got here. He was delayed. He was flying in from Bristol. His plane was delayed an hour. I think he got here at about... Well, he got into town about 7:20. And I obviously worked in town a lot. I've worked in Newcastle city centre for a long time, 17 years consecutively, 3 nights a week. I never really worked around the Bigg Market. And I always normally got to work about 11 o'clock at night and went to normally the club that I was working at when it was closed. To be in town at 7:20 on a Saturday, on a light summer Saturday.
Peer weekend as well.
Oh, it was madness. It was madness. He said, I think Schak says in the podcast, he walked past someone who was passed out, and he must have come up here. And we're filming in the middle of the Bigg Market, LooseCast HQ.
I don't like it.
Have you tried to wear the same stuff? Are you trying to be...
I try to purposely not wear the same stuff.
Really?
This is a complete different t-shirt.
Is it, right? It looks
Everything you own is from All Saints.
No. Check your phone right now. I've sent you the photo there from Saturday. Right. I wore a different t-shirt, so I've now had to tactically keep note of what t-shirt I'm going to wear on each podcast.
Have you done any more deliveries? Close the door?
No.
Just the one?
I mean, look at that. It looks like it's hard.
It's a different t-shirt. It's a complete different t-shirt.
You're worse than me. Like, I'm the goth, yeah, right? It's me that's got matching black t-shirts.
Would it have
not
been
you.
better if I just tried to claim that I was trying?
Because I thought you were trying to do the whole like continuity thing. I thought you were like, we're gonna. Because I was
Same
like,
but
I've had a haircut and a shave, and I was like, I thought you were gonna be like, right, what we're doing is we're gonna do it as if we're filming this before the Schak one, so I look the same. I thought you'd been like at home for an hour trying to get every strand of hair in exactly the same. Have you had a beard trim since Saturday?
No, it's not like me to overthink things anyway, though, is it? Like, I'm just dead relaxed and casual about it.
Breezy.
I don't
I'm
like
breezy.
Start again.
Super breezy. I'm breezy.
Hence, it's taken us how many months to...
How many hours of footage have we done that you will not allow us to release?
Oh, every single second of it, apart from Saturdays.
Anyway, right. So we're going to move on to Schak.
Yeah.
So coming up in this episode, we speak to him on a Saturday night. We go through some random stuff about where he's been. He'd been down in Bristol the night before. He'd big plans for his summer. The stuff he's playing in this summer is just incredible. We've got some great bits about what he's going to be doing at LooseFest, and we're just going to keep going. You're going to get episodes with the three of us. You're going to get episodes with guests. We'll interchange with who's in and who's sitting on the guest. We've got some great guests booked. There's going to be some excellent episodes coming. And if you want me to ask Dean anything, stick it in the comments below and we'll put him on the spot next episode. And
same to you.
No, I won't be asking any questions.
Also, totally off topic, for those watching rather than listening, Felix has requested for this blind to be left up because he likes.
Do you think we should put it down?
I don't know. I think that's a good question to ask.
Oh, who was that?
Just people walking past.
Who was that?
LooseCast staff. So
name them.
Not any of the managers, so they won't be getting asked.
You don't know who it is.
Yes, we do. Right, that is getting edited out. I didn't see who it was.
It's employed so many people, I just can't remember the names. That's what it is.
Moving past.
One of my many minions.
No, edit that. That is just awful banter. Anyway, so it was Michelle. So anyway, the blind up, I think it should be down, but he likes it because what did you say? He said it's sort of like when you were watching Sky Sports.
Yeah,
people
Sky Sports. I gave him an analogy that he could understand. You know what I mean? If I said CNN,
put it in football terms. But yeah, anyway.
Own goal.
We won't talk about football because we had a bad experience there today, didn't we?
Let's take a break.
I don't know because I wasn't there.
Let's take a break and on with Schak.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, coming live and direct from LooseCast HQ in the centre of Newcastle's notorious Bigg Market. This is Dean Saunders. I'm Felix Leiter, and tonight we've got Schak on the podcast. It is crazy out there. We're recording on a Saturday night, and it is stag and hen-tastic. What did you see on your walk from World Headquarters up here?
Put it this way, mate. There's someone on the floor on the deck straight outside the door. So that's all you need to know about the Bigg Market. Like,
I went past down Collingwood Street in the car coming here, and there was an ambulance, and I'm like, obviously it's not funny. I was like, oh, that's ruined someone's evening. Yeah. But yeah, Newcastle is, for anyone who doesn't know and hasn't been, what's Newcastle like on a Saturday night at like circa 8 p.m?
It's absolutely off it out there. like I say, I actually will love that you came in at this time, by the way, because as soon as you said that you were struggling to get parked, we were saying like it's chaos out there. Like,
it's absolute
and then obviously adding what we've just talked about there with that there was the fire in Newcastle the other day, so everywhere seems closed off still.
It's a nightmare. I tell you what though, what was mental, a surreal experience for me is living in town during the pandemic and standing at the top of the Bigg Market
and it just being dead.
Was no one.
Yeah.
Crazy. Not a soul.
Yeah.
That was polarising, so crazy.
Yeah. So you've come direct from Bristol.
Yeah.
You were playing last night at where?
At NAS Festival.
Nice.
Yeah, alongside Hannah Lang, Matt Guy. I think the Chasing Status were headlining it.
So, confusingly, you were in the same city as Patrick. Wasn't Patrick in Bristol last night?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a trick thing in Bristol last night?
No, he's just announced it.
Ah, right, there you go.
There you
I was
go.
like, I was so confused.
That's in October,
right.
I believe.
And how was that festival last night?
It was really good, mate. Like, because it's a drum and bass festival, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I went in there and the crowd were great. And they loved the harder stuff. So
nice.
that works for me.
What's the date of that one in Bristol? October the what?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
My birthday.
I seen it advertised just recently because they've got a new venue down in Bristol now.
Got you.
Because it's usually like Motion in the Marble Factory. I've played Motion.
Yeah.
They've got a mad theme there. It's kind of like a little bit like Elro. Come out with get dressed as clowns and that.
Yeah.
But it's a cool place.
It's a vibe, Bristol, isn't it? It's got some similarities to Newcastle, like in a sense, like it's a bit isolated. It's kind of near the coast, and it's got like a vibrant music scene. Very different from up here, like you say, drum and bass, big. Shout out to Got Some, my pal who's from Bristol. And what are you going to be doing in 12 hours' time?
So I am flying to Ibiza to make my debut at High, which is now the #1 club in the world.
Yeah.
So,
and are you going to be in the club room with Patrick
and Ben?
Yeah,
so it's just full on Geordie takeover in the club room, which is mental. Obviously, me, Patrick, and Ben are playing alongside Christoph Beer and the one.
I was looking at that lineup, thinking like that is northeast,
isn't it? Because obviously I don't know Christoph. I've never met him, but he's from Long Benton.
Yeah, I was like, that is basically not any takeover of the world's #1 club.
Nah,
do you know what I mean?
It
it's incredible. Like main room. Well, I don't know if they call it the theatre, don't they? Theatre in the club room. But it's basically you've got people from the northeast in every room.
I spent the last 10 minutes before you arrived trying to sell Felix on coming with us.
Well, he was like, it's.
Are you coming in all?
So it's the Persistence birthday tomorrow. So we're the 11th birthday tomorrow. So we're all out, and obviously it's like a lot of the day ones who are out partying with us. So I've dropped a few hints that I want to continue that into a flight to Ibiza and head over.
But you've got to go to sleep. Bear in mind, we tried to have a phone conversation last Monday at about 4 or 5 p.m. and he was still not functioning. He was like, my brain's not working. I haven't eaten. He was like, can I call you back in literally 2 minutes? And he called us back and he was like, I've just got the KFC and I feel better now because I've had like a couple of bites of chicken.
I can't handle my drink. Clearly.
So what are you going to do? You're not going to stay up and go to Ibiza?
Well, we want to go. So we were in Ibiza 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and we said we're going to calm it down a little bit and then head over properly after LooseFest and like go for a full week and a week, maybe a bit longer. Can you show
Shaq the video of you?
No.
In High Ibiza after a bottle of Belvedere? They had a table. They paid for they'd gone full whack, and he's just like, I'll recreate it for you. He's basically a bit like this. Just on a balcony in High Ibiza.
I mean, yeah.
Did you know who was even playing at the time?
Yeah, it was Shapeshifters.
Was it? All right.
It was the Glitterbox, yeah. So
Nice.
so basically, my mates from school had gone every single year to Ibiza.
Yeah.
But the first 7-8 years of the business, I never liked being away from Newcastle because I always wanted to be here. So I missed out on all the fun trips to Ibiza.
Shenanigans.
The shenanigans.
And then obviously as everyone's got older, I'm like, right, I'm ready to go away now. Should we go away? But by this point, everyone's settled down. They're under the thumb. They're all buying houses, so they won't do it. Finally,
You need to find some new friends then.
I know. But
Is that an invitation?
But yeah, this year, obviously everyone's like, we'll do it. But because they'd always gone like West End and stuff, they were like, we're doing it properly this year. So they were like, table in High Ibiza, table at Ocean Beach. So they'd gone all out. But obviously I got a bit carried away in High Ibiza.
Of course you did.
And I drank a lot. And yeah, there's a video that I showed him that he wasn't meant to bring up. But
when are you doing... You're doing a Shwaya with
Calvin.
Calvin.
Nice.
Okay, just say that as if like, do you know what I mean? Like, hang on, just Calvin situation. So when you're doing that, is that the same sort of week?
That's next month.
Right.
So I've got High on Monday with Patrick and Ben.
Yeah.
And then I've got Mambo's on Friday
Nice.
for Capital.
Nice.
And then I'm flying. I come back for 1 day.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to Australia for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
To play, to do a
Incredible.
2 hour in Australia. So
Ludicrous.
I've got Melbourne, Perth, Brisbane.
Because that
and Sydney.
sound is big over there. Like,
is,
I mean, you all remember us having like Will Sparks and that kind of bounce.
Yeah, they do like hard stuff.
Yeah.
But it's mad because there's a lot of English people over there as well. I know loads of people from backyard who've been like, oh no way, I'm fucking buzzing to come and see you. So it's going to be great, good experience. And then I come back and then I've got LooseFest.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for. Me, Ben and Patrick are really excited for that. It's going to be crazy. And then
The 5th and 6th of August.
yeah.
LooseFest.
We've got something really special planned
Right.
for that, but it's not going to get announced until the day of the event.
Is it an elderly lady?
No. It's not. She's. Well, I was going to say looking
Gone
down.
too soon.
She's looking up.
Gone too soon.
But we've got something special planned, so it'll get announced on the day.
Nice.
And then the week after, I'm off to SWG3 with Ben.
Yeah.
In Glasgow, and then I've got Ushuaia with Calvin,
Jesus.
and then Creamfields.
That's a summer.
Yeah.
Because there's that incredible photo. I think I've seen Ben sharing it recently, and maybe
me, him
you.
and Calvin.
Yeah,
You
and
see
is
the size
Tyson
of
in it as
Calvin?
well? Is
Tyson O'Brien
Tyson's in it as well, yeah.
So So that was when we, so that was 4 years ago, mate.
And is that when Calvin had just sort of like discovered some of Ben's tracks?
Yeah. So what had happened is Ben got friendly with Tyson.
Yeah.
And
Tyson O'Brien's an Australian guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how him and Calvin got tight.
He basically, I think he told me that he submitted a mix to him years ago.
Wow.
And he offered him to be his warm-up DJ, and he's just toured the world with him.
Yeah, and he does that. He does Vegas with him. He's always at Ushuaia and everything else. He's dead sound, isn't he?
Used to be called Generic, and then he went back.
That's right.
And then he went back to his actual name, Tyson O'Brien.
Yeah.
But he invited me and Ben to come to Vegas in 2019.
Yeah.
When Calvin had his residency at Omnia.
Nice.
And it's Caesar's Palace for Wet Republic, I think it was.
Yeah, that's like a day party.
Yeah, like a pool party. So
You'd love that, by the way.
Yeah, we went to Omnia and like, mate, the whole experience was surreal, right? So obviously, because we're on their guest list, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to Omnia, but like, it's like really upscale.
Yeah, yeah.
And me and Ben just rocked up with a fucking Ralphie on and a pair of Air Max and that, and then we just name dropped straight away. Just get on guest list, sound, walk this way. The booth is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And Ben just sat down and started sparking up. I went, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck you doing? And he was like, what are you on about? He was like, you're allowed to smoke in these clubs? I was like, what? He went, mate, you're allowed to smoke in all of them, the casinos and everything. So I remember, right, we were sat there, right, and I'm just taking this all in, right? And this woman, right, I'll have to show you this video. This is the biggest human I've ever seen in my life, right? Now,
Americans are large.
Mate, as you can tell, I'm no Empire State Building. This woman dwarfed Tyson. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
She was got to be...
Calvin's massive, isn't he?
She was much bigger than him. She was like 7'1", 7'2". Mate, her hips were like the size of my head. I was looking at her and
Shaquille O'Neal.
Literally, mate, I felt so intimidated off this bird. I was like, mate, she was a professional basketball player. She was fucking huge, but...
Was she security or was she just...
I didn't know. She should have been.
She was the door.
Mate, man, I've got it on the video. Dwarfing the security guard. He's like this. Mate, his head comes up to like the top of her chest, man. But we had a great time. And then we went back to Tyson's room, had a big crack on that.
Yeah.
And then the next day we went to Wet Republic, right? But I remember...
Is that when the photo's taken?
Aye.
And how drunk out of 10 were you and Ben when that photo's taken?
Right. Well, here's the here's the thing, right? So the night before, me and him, we were so fucked up, right? But I remember we were coming out of the casino, Caesar's Palace, right? And
Snazzy.
I forgot where I was for a second.
Right.
And the doors opened and the fucking 36-degree heat at 6 o'clock in the morning smashes in the face, and I was like... Didn't know where. I hadn't even checked into my hotel. I was staying at the area. Couldn't remember where to park the car.
You had a car? Can't imagine you and Ben with a car.
We drove from LA.
It's like about 8 hours, isn't it?
Just through the desert. Straight through the desert, right?
And have you seen them sleeping lanes? Like I've talked about this before.
Nah.
So there's like basically you have the 8 lanes, right, on each side.
Yeah.
And then I was with some Americans when I went, and I was like, what's all it? Why is there such gaps in the middle and everything else? And they were like, well, it's not on the way there because it's fine, but on the way back, people just fall asleep. So either side of the highway is just huge sand traps. And I saw one. The car just goes off. And it just goes stop, and then the person's just asleep.
Off it, like that. Fuck.
It happens all the time.
Fucking hell.
So you drove from LA to Vegas. Who drove?
I did.
Can't
Ben
remember.
doesn't know how to drive. So
Still?
Ben,
Right,
if you're listening, mate, go and get your fucking test done.
Well, I reckon we could do a deal because
Mum and Dad are driving instructors.
we could fit some cameras to the car.
There you go, Ben.
Fit some cameras. Do your Papa Dizzy.
But
So you drove.
I drove.
What car did you have?
We rented a Dodge Challenger.
Gosh, you did.
Lovely car. So drove there, got there. I told the area, mate, the area, like, it's bigger than any fucking building in Newcastle. It's like 50 stories high, right? Got there. I said, look, I'm checking in late because we'd come straight there, dressed up, left everything in the boot.
Dressed up?
I said, well, I say dressed up, like, not to Omnia's, not to Omnia's standard, obviously, but I knew we could get away with it. But so went in there, did my thing, got fucked up and that, drinking and that, and then we've come out 6 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't remember where I could park the car.
Yeah.
Hadn't checked into my hotel.
Yeah.
And then I started talking to Ben. We started having a deep conversation about reincarnation, and he just looked at us and went, "Just shut the fuck up." He was like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, mate. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Shut up. We'll do it another time." So then I literally went in, and I was like, mate, I don't know where the fuck the car is. I don't even know where the garage is, as they call it. So I had to walk up to a sheriff, absolutely half cut, and I was like, excuse me, sir, can you tell me where the garage is? And he was like, it was right over there. But I was like, in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm so skitzing, but I'm thinking, Vegas is just full of freaks, like, it's just full of so many crazy characters, which I'll get onto.
Yeah.
Found the car. And then eventually I went to the hotel, right? And I was like, they were like, yes, Mr. Luciano, we can see you've got a room here, and we knew that you were checking in late, so you're all right.
God, you had such a cool fucking second name. I genuinely forgot.
And then the woman was geed. She was geed. So you've got a double bed? I was like, no. I says, I've got two single beds. No, it's a double bed. I was just saying, she went, don't worry though, sir. I'll get one of the members of staff to wheel a bed right up to you. I was like, oh, okay. Nice. So I'm sat there in this hotel room. It's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. It's absolutely sweating. One of the bellboys comes up, delivers the bed on wheels, and Ben went in the bathroom. He just fell asleep in the bath. I was like, it was literally just. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, eventually we woke up. I was like, right, fuck, because we're meeting Calvin today.
Wet Republic.
And I was like, mate, if I wasn't meeting Calvin, I wouldn't have got up.
Yeah.
Because I was so buzzing. I was so, mate, on my head, I just felt like shit. I was like, fuck this. I went, come on, we got to go. So we left the hotel room, right? And I love quirky characters. I love seeing people booting off in the street, just random people. So I've come out of the casino, and the concierge is arguing with the taxi driver, saying, yeah, buddy, take a fucking hike. Keep on walking. Yeah, buddy, don't even try it. I'll stop you in a motherfucking mud packs and all this. And I was like, I couldn't even laugh because I was so fucked from the night before. I just didn't have it in this to even crack a smile, and I knew that's how fucked up I was. Then, literally, 2 minutes later, I looked on my maps, right, and the MGM, mate, wasn't far from the area. And I was thinking to myself, let's walk it, but it was 42 degrees heat. And for anyone who hasn't been to Vegas, that's the kind of heat you can't walk
and
in.
it's also, it's dry in it. So even when you're sweating, you're not sweating. Like, you go to wipe sweat away from your forehead, and it's just dust.
Yeah, this is, obviously we did some mock podcasts, me, Felix, and one of the guys before we've like done any with yourself or anyone, and we talked about this Vegas story last time, and everyone had been apart from me. And now I'm hearing these stories, and again, everyone's been apart from me.
Right, so
I'm leaving this podcast and I'm booking Vegas at some point.
We'll go Vegas. Right, so the concierge booting off.
I was booting off, right, and then I realised, I said, let's just walk, right? So I tried to
make insane.
So I've walked down these stairs, right? This guy comes bursting out of these doors out of nowhere. And he's like, no, mate, look, I swear to God, he's like, he's like, hey man, he's like, can you spare some change for the homeless man? And then he went, I'm just joking, can I have a lighter, please? I was like, what the fuck, man? Ben, give him a lighter, and I went, mate, we cannot walk to this place, it's too hot. So I ended up getting a taxi, got there. Guy was like, who the fuck are you? His names and all that stuff, right? And he was like, you got any ID? So I gave him my passport, and he was like, that's not you. I went, it fucking is, mate. He was just like, it's not you. Like,
did you have like a totally different haircut or something?
This was when I first had this haircut, when I first started having this style of haircut. So, but it was black, it wasn't blonde.
Got you.
So I think I looked like it, and I had to get my Facebook up and everything. He was like, have you got another ID? And I gave him a driver's license, sorry, not a passport. I was like, mate, I'm not carrying my passport around because if I lose it, I'm fucked. Yeah. So I had to go on my Facebook to prove him, to show me what I was. And he was like, oh, I'm really sorry. Look, like, we get a lot of people with fake IDs, blah, 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 blah. I was like, right, whatever. So went into Wet Republic, and we're in the booth. And mate, man, like, it's crazy. So we went in, and Tyson was playing, right? And Ben was talking to him, right? And I swear to God, this lass, because she saw... that Ben was talking to a DJ. Yeah. She just went up to him and just grabbed his hand and put it on her arse. He was like, what the fuck you doing? Honestly, mate, scandalous. Anyway, I just sit there. Ben was having the time of his life. I was just sat in the corner, just absolutely melting. Can you remember on Indiana Jones when that, I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, when the German guy melts? That's what I felt like I was doing in the corner. And I was just like drinking coconut water. And then
the most expensive coconut water you've ever drunk.
Literally, mate. And after that we went out and we went, right, we'll meet Calvin now. So I spoke to him. The first thing I said to him was, because he's fucking massive, mate. He's 6'5". Yeah. I'm 5'3". Yeah. And I went, mate, you're fucking massive, you. Yeah. He's just like, oh, how you doing, mate? You all right? And then Ben was geared, He's like, Eric, mate, I heard you said my tunes were shit. It's a joke. He's like, I'm just joking, mate. And then he was, mate, honestly, he was so down to earth. Spoke to him for like 5 minutes. And then he left, right? And we were going to the UFC. Right? So I went to, I think it was UFC 205. John Jones was fighting, was it Dominic Reyes for the belt? This is when the fastest knockout in UFC, when Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren with a flying knee in 5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So, mate, I purchased these tickets well in advance. And I would just like to say, whilst on this podcast, right, I've got this unbelievable story and it can be corroborated.
Right.
So, just bear with us.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Love it. Right, settle in.
I bought some tickets for the UFC.
Yeah.
6 weeks prior to the event.
Yeah.
Bought them off StubHub, right?
Yeah. Is that a resale thing?
It's like a third party where you buy tickets, right? Okay, so me and Ben are on my way to the T-Mobile Arena, as they call it in Vegas.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, so we go there, and I remember there was the big UFC sign, and Ben turned to us and he said, like, look, mate, he says, thank you so much for, like, bringing us here and stuff like that. And I says, mate, mate, I says, I wouldn't bring anybody else. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that you're here. Let's go and have a good time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get to the
and then you try to bring up reincarnation again. You're like, now's the time to slip it in. Now's the time. Like, by the way, remember that reincarnation, Jack? Come on.
That would have been funny when we'll walk at the ticket barrier.
Yeah.
And I've got the app, and mate, it's a QR code that resets every 59 seconds.
Right.
It's like you ever use Google Authenticator?
Yeah.
It resets. It's like an anti-fraud thing.
Yeah.
So I show it, and the woman's scanning it multiple times, just like, your ticket's not working. And I was just like, right, okay. And she was just like, go to the box office, they'll help you out.
Yeah.
So what at the box office?
Are you still like feeling a bit rough at this point?
I'm all right at this point.
Right, okay. Come round a bit.
I've come round a bit now, right? So I'm there, and
full of coconut water.
I go to the fucking box office, and I'm like, hello, mate. So I've just tried to get in. Said there's a problem with my ticket, and he was just like, yeah, I'll get on it, sir, no problem. Blah blah blah. So I'm seeing typing away, right? And then after 2 minutes, he gets his manager, and I was just like, this doesn't look good, right? So they're talking backwards and forward frantically, right? And then he turned to us and went, look, I don't know how to tell you this, but basically, I can see that you purchased your tickets on XY date, whatever.
Yeah.
However, for some reason, your tickets have been retransferred back into the system and resold, and there's people sitting in your seats right now.
Fuck.
And I went, is this some sort of fucking joke? He went, look, he went, look, mate, I'm so sorry. He went, I don't know what to say.
Right.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do it.
And
he certainly didn't profit from it.
And maybe he was talking about reincarnation. I don't know. Maybe he's in the fucking club. Who knows?
Maybe it was Ben. You and Ben reincarnated into American bodies who were sat in your seats.
Yeah, I know, mate.
So what happened?
So he went, look, there's nothing I can do right now, but you're here. Do you want to see what seats are still available?
Right.
And I was just like, right, okay, whatever. So I look at them, and I've been using my card up until this point. Both of them have.
No problem.
So the banks know we're in America.
Yeah.
Tap it. Declined.
So he expected you to buy new tickets?
Because he works for the UFC.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for StubHub. It's StubHub's fuck up, not his.
So he was hoping that in the future you could get your money back from StubHub.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the only option was to rebuy new tickets.
Do you want to still see the event?
Got you.
Because you've travelled all this way.
Yeah. It's going to be a real quick knockout, by the way, so get your tickets.
So
get your money's worth.
So I basically was like, right, okay, go on then. Put my card in. Declined. I was like, right, okay, I've been using it. I've got sufficient funds.
Yeah.
Right? Did it again. Declined again.
Yeah.
Did it again, declined again. So I went to Ben, I went, get your phone up, I'll transfer you the money.
Yeah.
He tried 3 times, declined.
So how much was it? How much was both tickets?
I think they were like $160 each or some shit like that. They were like, right.
And that'll have been the most you've tried to spend when you were in America, like the biggest single amount. No,
mate, we'd been in America.
I forgot you'd been drinking coconut water in a bar. That'd have been $600 a bottle. Boom, Wet Republic.
So Ben tried it 3 times. Now, prior to this, I'll tell you what's mad. So I'm sat talking to this guy, trying to sort the tickets out. Ben's like, be right back, I'm going for a tab. And I'm like, arguing with this bloke. And then Ben just comes up, whispers in me, and he's like, look at your Snapchat now. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm trying to have a conversation anyway. Pull it up. There's a picture of him and Nate Diaz just walked past.
No way.
I'm fucking sat.
No way.
Trying to sort our tickets out, and fucking there's him and Nate Diaz. Like, fuck off, man. Anyway, Ben tried it. He got declined, right?
Could Diaz not just sort you some tickets?
She's like,
between Diaz and Harris. Do you know what I mean? Like,
mate, and I should have just started put my cards on the
did you
table.
get in?
Well, this is where I'm getting to.
Right.
So, I got declined 3 times.
Yeah.
The tickets have been resold.
Yeah.
Ben got declined 3 times. He just turned to us and went, "We're not supposed to be here. It's time to go." So I left, mate, and I was just like, I was so gutted.
You're joking?
No, mate, I left. I couldn't get in, man. Mate, it was so fucking weird, but I believe in stuff like that and fate and all that and divine intervention. So I was just like, clearly not.
It's not meant to be.
It's not meant to be for whatever reason. So just walked away. Went back to the fucking hotel room, feeling sorry for myself. Sat chomping on a bag of roasted nuts, and Ben was like, "Do you want to go out?" I was like, "Absolutely fucking not."
Did you not want to go and watch it though, in like a bar or something, or were you just so sickened by it?
I was just so pissed off. So I was like, "Fuck this." So I went back to the hotel room. Ben ended up going out
on his own.
He went on the strip, out on the strip
on his own.
On his own.
Fucking what a ledge.
And I'm not going to tell you what happened. He can tell you.
I'll ask him.
If you'll ask him when the time comes. I'll let you ask him what happened, because it's not my story to tell, but something interesting did. Anyway, I'm fucking sat there arguing with stuff, probably saying, "What the fuck? I've travelled around the other side of the world, and you fucked up." I says, "I want a refund for my flight and my hotel."
Yeah.
They said, "No, we will only refund the price of the tickets, right?" But it gets a little bit weirder. So, X amount of months later, Dan Bilzerian's on the True Geordie's podcast. Right. And he's like, Brian says to him, "Oh, I seen you at the Masvidal fight." And he was like, "Yeah, man." He was like, I rang up Dana like 12 hours before the fight and was like, "Hey, man, can you sort me some tickets out?"
Yeah.
And Dana says, "How many tickets do you need? I can kick a couple of guys out the seats," right? Swear to God, you can look this up. It's on the fucking internet, right? And then Brian says to him, "You were sitting front row, right?" He went, "No, second front row," which is where me and Ben were sitting.
You're kidding.
Fucking hell.
Fucking have me seat stored off Dan Bilzerian. So fuck him and Dana White.
Fuck him. How much were those tickets then?
I'm not disclosing that. But they were a lot of money. But I couldn't believe it. Ben was like, "Look at this."
What's the best? I've got a good story on this. Have you ever had any incredible seats for like a gig? Have you ever been like?
What do you mean, like any type of gig? Like,
well, you were supposed to be second front row. What's the best seats you've ever had for a gig?
I'm still lost for words of that story.
Right,
this is a rare.
Well, I went when I was 16. Yeah. I went on the bus. This is relatively topical, to be fair. Yeah. I've got another factoid about this. I went to see Elton John in Manchester. I was only a kid, like got on the bus and that, and we'd paid like seats. We were right in the back corner of the MEN. So if this is like the stage where Elton is, we were like right back up on this corner of the MEN. And because we got the bus and because we were bands, we'd like just went in dead early. Like the doors had opened at 5:30 and we were just sat there because we were a bit like, we're in Manchester, we don't know what we're doing, we're a bit scared and that. Yeah. So we were sat there just chilling. And this guy came, who was absolutely massive, huge blonde hair. Like, I knew it was something to do with the show. Like, he had all the big, like, AAA passes on and all that. And he came wandered up and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to try to see." He's been doing accents. I feel fucking left out. So he was like, "Hey, guys, you like Elton John?" And I was like, well, clearly, fucking sat here at 5:30. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, "You guys going to, like, dance tonight and have a good time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I suppose." So he was like, "There you go, guys." Gave us an envelope. I swear to God, it was like a gold envelope. He was like, "There you go, guys. Have a great night." And he just wandered off into the distance. So we opened it up, and it was like row B, seats 13 and 14. We were like, "Is this a fucking piss take?" Like, looking around for a camera. Do you know what I mean? We're like, "Is this a fucking piss take?" So we were like, we got up and we went and showed it to a security guard, and he was like, "Yeah, no problem, just head down the front." So we got there, and there was a whole load of other bemused people on row like A and B, and we were all just like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, we can't sit here. This can't be fucking real." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Basically, someone came along and was just like, "Look, guys, thank you for coming down and sitting here. Elton always keeps the front 2 rows of his concert free, and he gives them out to people because he wants to see people up and having a good time, because row 3," and we saw this later on, because row 3 is tend to be bought by incredibly wealthy older people who were just sitting there like, "Isn't Elton marvellous? Do your song. So he was like, "All I need you to do is, as soon as you see Elton John walk out, everyone on the feet and don't sit down for the full fucking time that he's playing." And everyone was like, "Wow, we can do that." So it was unreal. I was from like here to where the camera is for Elton John, just sitting playing his piano. He brought Gary Barlow out in Manchester. It was incredible. It was like 20 years ago or something, but it was incredible being that close. And I would say it was the first time, and I'd be interested to get your point on this about Calvin or whatever, and you've been in the booth with some big dogs recently and in the past. Yeah. But I definitely felt at that point, looking, I was like, I can see why he's a star. There was something about him his presence, and obviously I don't know if you've seen any of that Glassdoor set.
Yeah, I've seen a clip,
but it was incredible,
yeah.
and you can just see why some people are. I mean, you've got it. Do you know what I mean? You've got like star power. So has he, to be fair. But you can see in some people, it was just incredible being that close. Like, did you feel it with Calvin when you're like around him? Did you feel it with Patrick when you're in the booth with Patrick? Like, is there anyone that you look at and just go, fuck me?
I can't see Calvin. Obviously, I've spent living the time with him, but obviously when I'm at Ushuaia this year, I'll get to know him a bit more. But I mean, like, when my song came out, he messaged us, and I was fucking buzzing with that. And he followed us, and that was like fucking hell. But felt off him and a lot off Patrick. Patrick's energy is celestial. Yeah. Hey, there's something about that man that's
biblical.
He's just his energy he gives off is unbelievable, and what you say is what you get with him. Some people act different on social media and in person, but
no, he's incredibly real, isn't he, Patrick?
He's real
like, it's like so natural,
so real, and he's got a fucking heart of gold. He's fucking changed my life, and you know what? It is tying into what you just said with fucking Willy Wonka giving you that golden. That's what Patrick did to me. He fucking changed my life. Yeah, literally did.
And you think it was it the case? I mean, like, we're gonna have some real banter with you in a sec. We've got some daft questions, and you've told us a wicked story. But like, to touch on that real briefly, had it been the case that you'd been sending him tracks for years? Was that the first one that you send him? Like, how did that kind of like
transpire?
Yeah, come to be. Like, and you know, you don't have to go like 10 years back and all of it, but like, was it something is it one song that you kept making changes to? Did he hear it the first time and just go, "This is the one"? Or like, how did that track happen?
Well, it all came about because of Nana McKenna, which is why I've said there's no coincidences in how I got where I am, mate. Yeah. The story's unbelievable. But basically, he invited me to come down to Trick in November 2021 when he did the Utility Arena. Yeah. Put us on guest list. Obviously, it was sold out. And I was like, this is my gift from the universe. I've been making music for years, a couple of years now. I think it was 2 years at that point. Yeah. This is my chance. So I went down super early before anybody else was there backstage. And he came up, he gave us 10 minutes of his undivided attention. Now, just to give some context, me and Patrick knew who each other were. Yeah. We met each other briefly, and even though we're from the same place, we weren't like proper pals. Yeah, yeah. And he gave us he just looked us square in the eyes for 10 minutes straight. And he was just like, I've been watching your stuff on Instagram. Like
the Nana McKenna stuff.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I've seen you playing the piano. He says, I love your stuff and that. And he was showing us so much admiration and respect. And I'm like, fucking hell, for a juggernaut like him, to be even looking at my stuff's amazing. And I said, look, Patrick, I've been sitting on some music that Ben thinks that you like. Yeah. Is there any chance I could send you it? And he went, mate, I'd fucking love to hear your music. He went, send us all of it. Yeah. I was only going to send them Jumping. Yeah. But
how long had you been sat on that at this point? Like at this point of the conversation, Patrick staring in your eyes, how long had you had that record? Like,
just been finished.
Right.
Just been finished, mate. It's fucking mad. And that, mate, you know, when I finished that record, I went, I need to get this to Patrick. Yeah. I need to get it to him. Because Patrick, he pushes tunes. Some labels don't push tunes, and I knew he'd push it. Yeah. And I thought if he likes it, then this would be the best home for it. Yeah. So he went, actually, Ben's on stage now, I'll take you on stage. And I remember he took us on stage, and that was the first time I was on stage in front of thousands of people, mate. It was fucking like 5,000-6,000 people. And I was like, fuck me. And then it was like a week later, Ben's give him a nudge. And he says, have you listened to Schak's tunes yet? He went, I'm going to listen now. It was a Friday night. And then I got a text, mate, on Friday afternoon. He was like, I've just listened to your songs. They're fucking mint. He went, I'm playing Mint Warehouse tonight. I'm going to test them out and I'll report back.
Nice.
6 o'clock in the morning, just as he's come off stage. Yeah. He's like, he said, man, Shaquille, I'm in the middle of fucking Mint Club and I've just played your songs and they were the highlight of my whole
Which
set.
other ones did he play then? So he played Jumpin'. Which other ones did he drop?
He's played Jumpin'. He played Mama Used to Say, which is coming out on Trick later.
Nice.
At some point this year.
Yeah.
And the third one he played, what was the third one? I thought it was Let the Rhythm Pump. I don't know what's going to happen to that record. Okay.
Because people don't understand how long records sit around for. Like they don't understand how long it is from the conception of an idea to potentially even getting finished, or potentially it getting finished but then tweaked and then retweaked and resung or whatever else. And then if it gets signed, it could still sit, or it could sit unsigned for months. Or it could get like with my Gotta Let You Go thing, or it could be getting played by people, but then you've got to do all the business in the background and clear the samples and get it resung. And then record labels tend to have like a 6, 9, 12 month schedule. So it's like, even from the point of Patrick saying, I want to put that out, from day one of opening up your computer to start the project, it could be 2 years before your record like gets released.
Mine was nearly a year.
Yeah, it could be quicker, but it could be longer.
Mine was a year. I made it in November 21. It came out October 27th.
And I just want to say, and I'm sure you'll echo this, like, props to Kim English, black female vocalists don't get enough airtime, respect, shout outs in our industry. And without that, iconic vocalist, you know what I mean, that record wouldn't have been what it is. And you know what I mean, sadly she passed away in 2019, I think. But just black female vocalists don't get enough props. I talked about it a lot on Show Me the Sample, and it's her vocal is
unreal, mate.
Just epic.
I'd just like to clarify as well though, this is my ethos when I come to either remixing stuff or reworking it, whatever you want to call it. If the original's good enough, I won't touch it. So like, I felt the original didn't do her vocal justice.
Fair.
So I thought, because if you listen to the original, it's a lot different from mine. I thought, right, I've got some room here to make it better.
Yeah.
If I can't make it better, then I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah.
So I got to work on it, and I remember I looked it up to see if it was a popular sample, and it wasn't. I was like, nice, ching ching. I was like, let's go. And I just knew the hook because it's simple and it's catchy. You got and it's mad because I was in Bristol obviously earlier today, and I was on the street just shopping. Yeah, and someone was fucking stood across the street videoing us going, "You got me jumping." People shout it all the time and that, and it's just a good hook, mate. So. Nice. That's how it came about, mate. But mate, the hoops we had to jump through to get it where it was. People, and I've alluded to this before in many interviews that.
But it must be even trickier when the original vocalist isn't deceased, alive to give her personal yes or no. Because one thing I've noticed is you hear loads more Whitney Houston samples getting used now. Now she's not alive to say yes or no. Now it's her estate who are like, "Aye, we'll take the money for that. No bother." But like obviously in the converse. Because if she'd heard it and just gone, I love that, do you know what I mean? It happens. Whereas I imagine some of the things you had to go through to get it done could have been.
Hey, man, like, first of all, so the first thing we had to do is the original version's slightly different. Actually, let me bring this in to add more context. Yeah. So Patrick was like, let's sign it.
Yeah.
Then he has a partnership deal with
Ministry. Yeah. Shout out to Anton.
Yeah, shout out to Anton, Depeche Palmer as well. Obviously, who owns Ministries from Newton Aycliffe. He's a North East lad.
Is he? Yeah. Never knew that. I've been sending stuff to Depeche for years.
Depeche's from Newton Aycliffe.
That's mad.
He's been so supportive of me. Ever since we met, mate, we just clicked. And honestly, I love, mate, he's the president of Colombia.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
And when you talk to him, you'd never think it. Yeah. It's totally different, and I love that. But
let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah, one day. But he's asked Patrick, can you show us your catalogue of the music you've got coming this year?
Yeah.
And mine, he listened to mine. There was a couple of others as well. Would love to upstream it. Obviously, I don't know what I did at the time. I didn't know what the fuck upstreaming was.
Yeah.
So Patrick basically said, look, they did this with Tell Me Something Good. They came on later in the campaign. They put all the money into it. You get advancements and all that stuff, right? And I was
That's a Hugh McVicker record, Tell Me Something Good. Yeah, that came out on Trick, but it was licensed or upstreamed via Ministry.
Via Ministry, So I was like, fucking hell. I didn't even know what to say. And I was just like, he was like, we don't have to do it if you don't want to. He said, but I think this would be good for the label and for you and for me. Yeah. It's like, fucking obviously.
Yeah, hang on, let us think about it. Yes.
Mate, I remember obviously I started building a relationship with Ministry and Depeche, and then
was Anton part of Ministry at that point?
Nah, no. Anton didn't come in until the end of last year.
Yeah, Anton Powers.
He was at Warner with LF System, and then he brought LF over to Ministry, and then he came over as well. So basically, we were negotiating all the deals and that. And then a couple of people had said that the original, not many people have heard the original. Yeah. But it's slightly different, you can't tell. But the original, people are saying the bass line's similar to Alice DJ, Better Off Alone.
Okay.
So I was like, it's in a different key.
Yeah.
Right? And it's different notes that are being pressed. So they brought in Peter Oxendale, who's a musicologist, and he testified in the Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
I think it's Blurred Lines with Marvin Gaye and Pharrell and all that.
Yeah. That's basically when people are. So you'd have a musicologist in court when people are saying you've copied my record, interpolation and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, that's them saying no, they're different. They're in different keys. They're getting played at different rhythms and all the rest of it. So he came in and checked it to make sure that it wasn't similar enough to Alex DJ. Right.
So he said, based on my opinion, if you put this record out like this, you'll get sued.
Really?
And me and Patrick Depeche were going backwards and forwards in this group chat, and I was like,
"Who is Alex DJ again? By the way, is it someone? Is it Alex Cornfield? Is it
someone? I don't know specifically, but I wasn't speaking to them directly.
Right.
Obviously, Depeche is doing all that because that's their job.
Yeah.
But, so I'm looking at this from a music theory perspective, right?
Yeah.
You can't copyright a chord progression.
Yeah.
There's finite amounts of chord progression in a key.
Yeah. And this is the whole Ed Sheeran thing that he was saying in court when he was playing stuff. He was going, I can sing you all these different songs over the same chord progression.
So like I said, obviously, for instance, like I could show you on a piano right now the most common chord progression that's been used in pop.
Well, it's the axis. Have you seen the axis of awesome? Have you seen the axis of awesome when they do like? So it's like I'll send you the link after.
Yeah.
It's the axis of awesome. It's like Australian guys, and they do that same chord progression and basically sing everything over it.
Yeah, mate, it's the 1-5-6-4 chord progression. It's commonly it's been used in so many. Yeah. Right. I had a look. That's like 50 number ones with the same chord progression, right?
Yeah.
So I'm arguing at the time. I didn't know who Peter was. Didn't know his credentials. I was like, who the fuck's this Peter guy? I was like, I don't know Peter, right? I was like, yeah, you can't copyright a chord progression. What he's ultimately said is your bass line, the notes are the same length,
right,
as Alice DJ. If you took Alice DJ's pattern, and you put it in a different key, it's exactly the same. He says it's because it's offbeat. If it wasn't offbeat. So the 1-5-6-4 I just told you about, they've done slightly different interpretations of it. So that's why. And then I was like, who's this fucking Peter? And he went, Google him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, testified in the I was like, he just put his nuts on the table. I was like, all right, okay, right. No worries. So I was like, right, fuck. So I was like, fuck, man. I fell in love with this song. And I'm like, I don't want to put a song out that I don't love.
Yeah.
Because that's against my whole ethos as an artist.
Yeah.
So I'm having this massive dilemma. Meanwhile, people don't know nothing about this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the record out to make my debut release and that. So I'm like, fuck. I had to come up with a whole new chord progression.
And it's so hard once you've A, written it, but B, once you've fallen in love with it, it's so hard to hear anything else. You're like, that's the only way it can be. You're like, that's the only way it can be.
Yeah.
And other people go, no, you can change your bass line. And you go, no, that's it. That's how it is. That's how it works.
Yeah.
There's a girl, I'm trying to get a resung done at the minute. I think I might have sent you the track, but I'm trying to get a resung. This woman's just like emailing me today, this vocalist going like, oh, can you just transpose it down like a tone? I'm like, no, just sing it where the fucking instrumental is. I'm like, I love it how I love it. I'm not changing it. Yeah. So you had to actually change this bass line.
But
did you do it?
The difference is so subtle.
Right.
You can't tell.
You can't even really hear it. Yeah. But Peter says if we have to go to court, it's fine.
Mate, I'm going to tell you something now. If I had my Mac on I'd show you there's 5 different versions of that song.
Yeah.
So we're going backwards and forwards because it was. Yeah. I was thinking like, fuck, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll come up with one.
Yeah.
And then we sent it to Peter. Peter gave it the green light.
Yeah.
And then
Peter says yes.
Then the second thing was I had to change the title of the song. So I wanted to call it Jumping and Bumping.
Yeah.
Sony said, look.
What's the original called?
Jumping and Bumping. Right. And they said, look, this could...
Because it's not a cover, is it? It's not a cover.
They said, in our eyes, this is not a cover.
Yeah.
So they were like, you need to...
We've gone deep here, by the way.
You need to change the title of your song. I was just like... I remember stood in Ibiza airport, I just got off the plane, I was like, I know you're in Ibiza, and I know this is not what you want to hear, but you need to change the title of your song. And obviously I'm falling in love with it, this is my baby.
Yeah. I've already had to change my bass line, now I'm going to change the title.
Mate, I was just being a fucking diva, and I was like, I remember I had to bring myself back and like look at myself in the mirror and think like, Schak, get a fucking grip, man, will you? It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's... I loved it so much.
Yeah, of course.
This is my pride and joy that I've cultivated, mate, and I've put my heart and soul into this track.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that's the hook. And they went, you need to change it. I was just like, right, okay. So then me and Depeche come up with Moving All Around because it's the end of the hook.
Yeah.
And then Brackets Jumping. Which Sony gave the green light to.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Yeah.
And then it got pushed back.
Yeah.
Then got pushed back again.
Yeah. Came out
October 27th. Right. It was scheduled for August 5th.
Okay.
And it got pushed back. And I was like, I wanted to summer.
Probably did you a favour though, going.
Well, no, it did, mate. Now look, like I said before, everything works out what happens for a reason.
Yeah.
When it got pushed back, it gave me time to do all that mental fucking stuff I did to promote.
Yeah, all the content.
And I believe this hand on heart, 50% of where that record went and where I've ultimately went is because of the crazy stuff I did, and 50% was the song.
Yeah.
So it all worked out in the end, mate.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing I would like to say as well is I was just about to get in the top 40.
I know.
All the Christmas
I
songs.
messaged you, didn't I?
All the Christmas songs. Me and
Mariah Carey.
Bitch! Me and Mariah Carey were fucking right by each other.
Fucking pugs.
And then she fucking went to number 1. And I went
in the Christmas stage.
It was mental, mate. But in the end, mate, like I say, the things we've achieved as a team off that one record, it's amazing. And I remember obviously like Danny Howard was like made it his hottest record. I was like fucking hell, and like meeting him was mad because I spent years and years and years listening to fucking Radio 1 on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, fucking, how you doing, mate? And I was like, yeah, I was bouncing around on a pogo stick in Radio 1. I can confidently say no one's ever done that. Like. So fucking that the whole thing was great, mate. But like it was like my life was going like 100 miles an hour. But mate, that record, there was a lot of things that went on in order to get it out. And I said this before, mate, like the punters only hear the end result. They don't see the pain. That's when it, mate, re-sings and that.
Yeah.
Mate, it's not very probable when you get a re-sing that person will sound the same frequency.
We also know who else is from the Northeast. Oh, we'll have to start talking about this. You know Hal Ritson's from the Northeast. You know from Replay Heaven. Did you?
Replay weren't in. I know who Replay are. And
yeah,
I've done some.
He's from like Alnwick or something because Maitland knows him. He's from like Alnwick. It's absolutely mad. Northeast takeover. Yeah, it's just incredible.
Sam Fenner's manager calls her Jodie Illuminati. Mate, listen to this. It's fucking mental, right? So when I was like, I had the majors interested in signing a deal with us. And I was like, look, I was going to Polydor at Universal's headquarters in London.
Yeah.
I was fucking looking at my phone like this. I just said, hello, son. Look up, it's fucking Owen, Sam's manager. And mate, it's weird, you know, like this circle we've got, right? Me and Owen Davies, and for those who don't know who he is, that's Sam Fender's manager.
Yeah.
I became friends with him through lifeguarding in 2009. Me and him were both beach lifeguards, right? And I met Sam.
Which beach?
It was all the ones in North Tyneside,
right,
so like Time of Colour Codes, King Eddie's, Whitley.
Yeah.
And I met Sam the year before in acting class. So I met Sam on his own, and Owen on his own.
Yeah.
And then Owen's met Sam,
and
then we all like know each other. All from Shields. It's weird, mate. This me, Ben, Patrick, Sam, Owen.
Yeah.
It's just this mad circle. But Owen was geet. Alright, mate. He was geet. What you doing?
What you doing here?
I was geet. I'm going to Polydor to have a meeting with an A&R. He went, I'll take you in. So I'm standing in Universal's headquarters. All these fucking labels are on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm standing in this lobby and I'm like, mate, do you not think it's fucking mad that me and you are standing here for separate reasons, but related to the same industry, and we were both lifeguards? Like,
did you ever save anyone? Proper save anyone?
I've saved 6 people, mate.
That's insane.
Had 2 people, two people die on us.
Oh, mate.
But it was a wicked job. I loved it, mate. And like, mate, you know what it is? All the guys and girls that I work with, if they work today, I would go back. And my mate Owen's wife, she was a lifeguard.
Nice.
And that's how they met each other.
Yeah.
It's a nice little story, mate. But we have community where we come from, and that's why I love coming from Newcastle, mate, because Newcastle's given me so much. It's given me my identity.
Yeah.
We have community here, so the local populace, they like to back people who are doing well.
I think so. Yeah.
And most other cities don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's why when I'm in a position, mate, I want to give back as much as I can.
And it's not even just Newcastle, like you say, because where you come. It's the wider Northeast area. I just think are great as an area. Like they all kind of come together. Right, let's have a bit of a laugh. I've got some questions for you.
Right, come on, then, you little slut.
What poster? Whose poster did you have on your bedroom wall when you were a kid? We're talking footballers. We're talking pop stars. Whose poster did you have on your bedroom wall?
Tupac, everywhere.
Tupac.
Tupac's probably the biggest influence on my entire life. Him. It's mad because people, it's so unorthodox because people think, you know, because I'm an electronic music artist.
Yeah.
I have like, you know, the Prodigy, you know, all the trance DJs from back in the 90s, but it was none of that.
Tupac.
Mate. It was Tupac, right. Mate.
Dean?
This is where I'll come clean.
Yeah.
As you
Dean
just said,
comes clean.
That's a section, that's a segment.
No.
What is it? What you just say?
No.
What is it you say? What is it? True word. What is it? What's the?
Oh, a code word.
Yeah, our code word. When it's got to be like you've got to tell the truth.
Oh yeah, because apparently we all wind each other up all the time. So when someone's actually being truthful, we've got a code word.
So code word. What? Who was on your bedroom wall?
No, so I was going to say, just as you were saying there about how the Newcastle especially, but the North East all supports itself, like it does, and that's the whole point of this podcast. As I said, we're going to get some really cool people on who are like big advocates of the North East and Newcastle. But as big of a Newcastle advocate I am, and obviously I've lived here 7 years, I've done the events here 11 years, and obviously doing the festival.
But you're still from the wider North East, though. Like you didn't move here from Wales.
I am a Middlesbrough fan.
Yeah,
so
it's all right. It's allowed.
Well, I mean, it's a bit embarrassing at the minute with shit, aren't we? Especially when Newcastle are doing so well. But Massimo Macaroni and Eminem, they were the two people on me go out.
Massimo
Macaroni and Eminem.
Right, what is... Oh, fucking this is topical.
What's yours?
Actually. I used to have this really weird crush. I think I've forgotten her name now. She was called like Philippa Green or something. She was like a children's TV presenter, and she was just on like the BBC. It was really odd, and I had like a really random crush on her.
Did you have like a Blue Peter fetish?
I think so. I wanted a badge. Do you know what I mean? I really wanted a badge.
We'll get you a badge.
I'm a big fan of what's your boy's name who got in a bit of trouble on. He's really good as well. He was a radio presenter, but he got sacked from Blue Peter for doing naughty things. Anyway, we'll move on from that. What's your his name will come out as I know this is topical, but it was a question I'm going to ask you. What's your favourite Christmas song?
That's not going to be Mariah anymore, is it?
Without the hatred of being excluded from the top UK top 40. When it gets to that time of year, what's your Christmas bop like? What's the one comes on in the pub? Like, say you're in the local over Christmas, and it's like, this is the one. Like, this is.
Do you know what it is? All I want for Christmas is you. It's in Home Alone 2. You know where Kevin's going shopping. Then he's on top of like the World Trade Centre. It's like
the one that Trump's in that one, isn't
he? I don't know the title of the song, but it's like the cold winter coming in, the winter nights are dark. All I want for Christmas is you.
Edit coming. If there's not an edit this year, if there's not an edit this winter, I'll be coming for you. I
can't remember the title, but the reason why is because I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Home Alone 2 is the greatest Christmas film in the fucking world, right? Boom. And that reminds me of being a kid again, and the excitement and is Santa on my roof? I think I can hear him. So I'd have to say that. I don't know the title of the song, but that's
I'll find it out. What's your favourite Christmas song?
Is this a cop out, but also that song? Because that's for the same reason.
No way! Were you two chatting beforehand?
But it is that film, isn't it? It's a tune.
It's the film for me.
Right? I love a bit of Home Alone. Like,
what about you?
See, I was thinking about this because when I wrote the question, I was like, if someone asked me it, I'd be like, maybe I'd be like cool and give a cool answer. Like my cool answer would be there's a song by Tim Minchin, who's an Australian like comedian and artist and stuff, and it's called White Wine in the Sun, and he released it about 5 or 6 years ago, and he released it as a charity thing, and it raised money, and it's all about basically his little girl. It's all about his little girl going away and traveling around the world, and the fact that him and his mum would always be waiting. Him and her mum would always be waiting for her at Christmas, drinking white wine in the sun. And I just heard him play it acoustic on a radio show, and I was walking my dog around Walker Park. And I was crying my fucking eyes out because it was like proper. Because it was like it proper got us. So it's not really a Christmas. Well, it is a Christmas song, but it's not. If you know what I mean.
It means a lot to you, though.
Yeah, it means a lot to me, and it's very personal. And I've got like a little girl now, and kind of that kind of. And I'm not a big white wine drinker, but I'll have a quaff of a gavy. I'll have a quaff of a gavy, like no bother.
Didn't even know you had a bird.
Yeah, she's 6.
Fucking what?
Yeah, 6.5. But then I was like, maybe if I was trying to be cool, I'd give that answer. But then I was like, step into Christmas. I was like, step into Christmas is banging. And I think I'd give it for the similar reason of it's in Gavin and Stacey in it, and like I love a bit of Gavin and Stacey, and I'll always watch that episode. I'm not bothered about watching the whole series, but at Christmas I'm like, slam that Gavin and Stacey Christmas episode on, and it's like Gavla, step into Christmas. Yeah, so I think a big one of that. Now, Jack Grealish recently said, have you seen the videos of him, by the way? With
heard about it.
He's a photo of him with Tiesto, and then he's been in the booth with Fisher in High. Have you seen it?
He's been messaging Patrick.
Has he?
Patrick showed he's been here. I'm trying to get Grealish to come down to fucking
High.
Mate, that'll be lethal, wouldn't it?
So he's obviously, the crack was a while ago, he's some piney Jackie, but the crack is he nails the fucking Chinese after like every home game or whatever. What's your like standard Chinese takeaway order? Don't eat
takeaway food, mate.
You don't take anyway takeaway food. Right, I'll throw this over.
Oh, he's absolutely doing this. I don't think this is that bad. I mean,
Dean's looking svelte and he's looking good now. But Dean, how many takeaways? If we go back like 7-8 months, how many takeaways a week do you think you were nailing?
Oh, a couple. So Anth, who isn't here,
come on now,
but our partner with this, he's a chef, so basically he does the meal prep for us. So I was getting wrong off him because I was explaining what I have as a takeaway, and I get a chicken omelette. And
gets a chicken omelette delivered.
Your reaction's the same.
He lives in town, right? He lives right by the lofts, right? He lives right by the lofts. He gets a chicken omelette delivered from a Chinese in Heaton.
What? He lives right next to Chinatown, and he gets.
It's because we've had the office in town for 9 years, I think now, and once upon a time, one of the lads got an order from Momo Palace,
right?
And it was absolutely
shout out to Momo Palace if he's not getting cheap discount egg. Was it
this
chicken omelettes?
Well, no, we just got it, and I ordered that, and I loved it. So I've always still got it, even though now I live at Chinatown. I still get it from Momo Palace.
He gets Deliveroo from.
You need to go and
evaluate my life.
He gets Deliveroo from Nando's. I'd say it's no less than 60 metres away.
I've changed now. No, I go pick it up now. You got in my head.
Are you fucking seriously telling me that the Nando's in the gate, you will get delivered? Who the fuck's delivering that? Are you? I'll tell you fuck right off and see walk, you lazy bastard.
No, it's only when I'm hungover and I don't want to like walk past everyone looking an absolute
full of fear.
So I just asked them if they can deliver at the door and leave a nice tip.
Tell him about your wok fried greens in Wagamama.
Oh, it's just slander me for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, why not?
No, so when we go Wagamamas, I like everything modified because
I love how we use that modified. Trying to sound posh.
Yeah,
clever.
I'm awkward as fuck.
Yeah, awkward as fuck. I've got really childish taste buds.
Right.
But basically, the wok fried greens you get, I just don't like the healthy stuff. So it's like wok fried greens with no bok choy, but then extra broccoli instead, done as long as possible, so the soft as possible, but still with the garlic. And everything I order, they complain at, but it makes you memorable. So I don't know if it's a good way.
So he walks in and the chef apparently is always like, "Oh hi, like it's Dean," and me and Anth are like, "He hates you."
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, the thing I'm sound," because they're always like, "Oh, we know what you want." With like he's coming in.
New York, and that awkward bastard on you.
And Anth was like, "No, trust us." From a chef's point of view, you walk in and they're like, "What a wanger," and they've got it ready for you.
Right. What thing did you want as a kid, but never got and have bought yourself as an adult?
Ooh, what a stimulating question. Mate, that's a fucking really good question.
Because I'll tell you what I always wanted, and my mum would never get me it, and I bought it I think I bought it in the pandemic because I was bored. You know them they're like ice slushy machines, and it's like you took the tummy off the guy and you put the ice in and then you crushed it all up and then you poured like the syrup in the top and it came out as like an icy, and like my mum would never let me have one.
Like a slushy pop thing.
Yeah, and ultimately she never let me have one. I think because obviously the syrups are just 100% sugar. And I bought one off eBay, tell you what else I bought? Hungry Hippos. I was never allowed that. I think it was because I was an only child, I don't know. Yeah. I think she said it was because it was loud, do you know what I mean? Loud and aggressive.
On about slushes, by the way, I bought one from over the road yesterday. £4.50 for a slush now.
Didn't even talk to me about that. Freddos are like fucking a pound now.
It's off it, isn't it?
And they're smaller.
Nah, mate, I was eating a Snickers
and
the other day and I was like,
yeah.
What is this out of a fucking, the quality street?
Yeah. Celebrations.
Celebrations.
Off it, man.
Yeah. My gift that I bought myself that my mum would never get was a set of decks.
Really?
Mate, I lived in a terrace house, and I remember one day my mate, right, this because I stopped my music journey began with MCing in the Makina scene.
Yeah.
And my mate brought around a set of I said, "Can I borrow your decks one day?" He went, he had a set of cams with a new Mark mixer.
Yeah.
I remember
they belt drive.
Aye. All good old belt. You know what we used to do is speed the tune up. We used to put blue tack on the drive thing where you put the belt on and it would make the tune even faster.
Amazing.
But basically fucking I had them on me in my bedroom. One day my mum came in and was like, "What the fuck is these? You better fucking take them decks round to fucking your friend's house now." I lived in a terrace house, mate. I remember like my mum's was out or something.
Yeah.
I got on the mic and that. And I was at the window. I was like this. I was pretending my street was me fucking crowd. Like this on the mic. Keep coming up. Blah, 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 blah. And the next door neighbour, used to be like residential care. And he's like, it's at the fucking window there, gesticulating and I fucking turn it down and all this, and I was just like, okay.
Scream if you want to go faster. Where's my noisemakers?
Party crew, make some noise.
Where's my Shields crew?
I made so fucking that was the end of that. I never could own decks ever. And then my last ever job, one of my last jobs I had when I worked at HMRC, they gave us 6 weeks paid leave, and the money that they gave us, I bought my first set of decks with. And
why did they give you 6? Have I missed something? Why did they give you 6 weeks paid leave?
They got sacked.
Ah, right, sorry.
That was like my modified word, wasn't it?
I didn't mean it. I wasn't like trying to. I was like, how's you getting such a long holiday?
I know, mate. I know, because I used to work at HMRC, and I was like, it was mate, it was when I used to come and see you all the time.
Yeah.
The good old digital days, and I was there every Saturday, just fucking having the time of my life. And some days I'd be just like, it'd be sunny. I'd be like, because I worked 4 till 9 p.m. I was like, yeah, fuck this.
4 till 9?
I was just like, I'd say like, can I come into work today? I've got chicken pox or whatever. I don't know. And they were just like, and then after
I'll be back tomorrow. What, with chicken pox? I'd be fine. Clear up. Clear right
so
up.
fucking, we did that, and then I did that, and then eventually one day they were like, we're gonna have to let you go. But he was like, my gaffer, he was so nice. He was called Dan, and he went, you were a proper grafter when you wanted to actually work.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to give you 6 weeks paid leave, and the money that they give us, I bought my first set of decks with, and
nice.
I learned to practice, and then 6 months later I met you.
Yeah. What decks did you buy then with that money?
It was the first ever Pioneer controller.
Oh, nice.
Pioneer.
You still got it?
Oh no, well, I have got the actual controller, but it doesn't work. I smashed it up. I'll tell you why I smashed it up.
Right.
So, mate, honestly, mate. So I've got my first set of decks, and mate, I need to tell this, mate, because I don't think I've ever told you this story about how me and you met each other.
Right.
So it was June 2013, and my friend, because she made a lot of money, she said, for my 21st birthday, I'm going to fly my close friends out to Ibiza.
Okay.
I've got a villa rented for a week.
Nice.
You don't need any money. I'll take care of you.
Great.
I've never been abroad at this point. Never been.
So not only was it your first time to Ibiza, it was your first time abroad. First time on a plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I used to hear all my mates all the time talking about how you can get a passport on the day at Durham.
Yeah.
The office, right?
Yeah.
So it's 2 weeks before the flight, and I ring up the passport office in Durham.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, I'd just like to order a passport. And he went, is this your first passport? I went, yeah. He went, it takes 6 weeks minimum, and you have to apply via post. You can't come in.
Nightmare.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so you can get replacements dead quick, can't you?
You can get them in. If I lost mine, I could go tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if it's your first, because you've got to be vetted. You want to know who the fuck you are, right?
Yeah. Birth certificate and all sorts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what to do. And someone took my place, right? And I remember.
Because he never went.
Percy took my
What
place.
an edge. Shout out to Percy.
So, I couldn't go, mate. I was so depressed, right? And I remember their fucking plane, right? I've seen them post them on Facebook, time to go and that. And I remember their fucking plane flew over my house. I'm not even fucking joking. Watched their plane go over my house.
Mate,
right?
the other day, we had like Patrick booked in to do a pod and we had to rearrange. And he was like, I got the text. I just went straight back to sleep. I was like, I couldn't even cope with it. I was like, I was so devastated. He was like, I read the message. And he said I had 2 messages with bad news. I read them both, just turned my phone off and went back to sleep.
I went back to sleep. Woke up an hour later, I was a bit happier. But
Did you're telling me you actually watched the plane fly over your house?
So the plane flew over, right? And I was so depressed, right? And I went, right, I'm going out. So it was a Saturday.
Right.
So I said to me, mate, will you come out with us? You went, aye, no worries, right? So we went out, just me and him, and you were playing, Greg was playing.
Yeah.
And I'm in the smoking area, and someone goes, that's Felix Leiter. I didn't know what you looked like at this point. I just heard your mixes.
Right.
And, mate, I was absolutely half cut, like. I was blitzed to bits, right? And it was fucking 10 years ago.
I hope I wasn't a cunt. Does this go bad? Does this go bad?
It's fine, it's fine, right? So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go up to him. And you were starting talking right? Was what you call him. And anyway, so you were talking right, having a big crack with him. And mate, I went up to you, right, mate, honestly, and I said, hello, mate. I says, hi, I'm Shaquille, nice to meet you. I just wanted to say, how can I go about getting a set at digital?
Yeah.
And you went, I tell you what, mate, send us a mix.
Yeah.
And I'll give it a listen, and we'll go from there.
I'm happy with that.
And I was just like, all right, mate, thank you, right?
Because I remember you coming in the booth, and I remember like
this was 6 months prior. That didn't happen until 6 months later.
Right.
So what happened was I've went away and that, and mate, this is pure fate. If I had went on this holiday, that would have never happened. Do you understand?
No.
So
yeah.
I remember, mate, I had a good night, and I just like to say, like, the times I had a digital, mate, like. The nightlife in Newcastle is a lot different now, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have witnessed and grown up,
being part of it,
and being part of it. So
I feel the same.
Mate, honestly, so privileged to see those days, and that nightclub at its peak was unbelievable, mate. Yeah. So I sent a mix, right? And then I ended up getting pally with Greg.
Yeah.
And he invited us down. And then I think he gave you a nudge and went, look, he sent you a set. Yeah. You listened to it. And then...
is that when you were like writing at W&W and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Mate, I'd just like to say, Willem, one of them texted us before.
Nice.
Because he's playing Ultra Europe tomorrow. If you've got anything you can send us. Because I met them at Lost Minds and I'd put a fanboy them. I was just like telling them like about how much I used to love them and that.
Yeah.
I told them when I got banned from playing the music as well. You remember when I dropped Rocket? Yeah. But I became...
I don't know this one.
Just banging tunes on a Saturday night.
I just banging EDM on a Saturday night. But I ended up becoming pally with them, and we're actually going to write a song together at some point, which is really nice for my story. But it was around that time. Yeah. So you gave us my set, right? But this is one thing, mate, and I'll never ever forget this, because I know you didn't do this with anybody else. So I've come and done my set.
Yeah.
And obviously Greg was leaving because he was going to Thailand or whatever, and he said, look, there's a spot here. And you nurtured me as a DJ. You brought you've invited us down for 6 weeks every week. Yeah. And each week you taught us a new lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know this, mate? When I started playing, I didn't even know about kilobytes.
Because it was little stuff. I was like, you need to be playing at 320 minimum.
You were looking at the bit rate. Yeah. You were like,
the 96,
128, YouTube rips and that. And I was just, you need 320
minimum.
What's that?
Yeah.
So then you were like, it's all off Beatport.
Yeah.
So it was little things like that, mate, and you nurtured.
I think we talked about mixed in key, and I think we talked about 2 points.
Reading the crowd.
Yeah.
Just little things, mate, but you're pivotal in my story.
Oh, nice one,
So I just want to say, like, thank you for that, because I know
mate, thank you
didn't have to do that, mate, and you went out of your way to help us.
I think that's, Percy played a bit there, and there's other people like I met over the years with Tom and Greg and stuff. I think DJs genuinely, and you've mentioned Patrick, but I think DJs are sound. I think as long as you go and you're sound with them, they'll be sound with you. And I think people are supportive in that community of each other. I think people want to help each other out. We've got a little present for you. It's like a loose...
I was going to say, before you give the present...
Right.
That was such a nice moment to witness.
Right.
And also a hell of a lot nicer than our first meeting.
Oh, right. So what I was going to say, actually, you remind me.
I'm really jealous now.
I never knew Dean. And it's funny, again, this is an odd topic, 15-year birthday. So, was it you or was it who messaged me? Or was
it was Emilio.
So, Emilio, 15 years ago.
Well, 11.
Probably not far off. 50.
11.
Oh, is it 11?
I'm not that old.
Is it the 11th birthday?
11th birthday?
All right, so Persistent's 11th birthday coming up on Sunday. And I think Emilio messages on Facebook going, we're starting this new night on a Sunday. Do you want to play? And Dean told me the same story, and I was like, oh fuck, I couldn't, was I? And he was like, no. And to be fair, when he told me, I remembered it. It was just that time when like Dave Stone was like, you're either digital or you're not. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, look, I'm working on a Monday and a Friday and a Saturday. I was like, to be fair, like I hope all the best of it, lads, but Sunday's just going to be a bit much for me, and like I don't think the club would be very happy about it and all that. And ultimately, you went on and got like.
Well, I remember.
Was it Cozzy? Was it Christoph?
So obviously, we mentioned Jordan Kate before, but obviously when we first started, Adam Christie was an absolute legend. Adam Christie, Leon Kasai, from shit and obviously CJ Costigan, Christoph, but it was CJ Costigan. Yeah. He played every single week, and then he played 11 to 1. And then at 1 o'clock, we had people on rotations. Like, say, it was Adam Christie, who was like a massive help when we first started, Leon Kasai, Tom Hyam, and obviously Phil Benison, Bare Essentials. And we really wanted to get you, and you were the only one that pied us.
And now it's still going 11 years later, and I'm not part of it. But anyway, right, so we've got a box. It's a loose fest box.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't want to give you it.
There's a Loose Fest box. Shout out to Aaron Bamford.
Yeah, Aaron Bamford
for dropping this off. So you're the only artist to receive one of these Loose Fest boxes. Have a look inside, open it up, tell us what you see, tell us what you think you could use some of the bits for.
Yeah.
There's a reason I was like, I'm not giving you it.
So tell us what's in the box, or tell the people watching and listening what's in the box.
There's 2 fucking scrunchies. Why the fuck? My hair's not that long. What the fuck?
Basically, the influencer boxes, and obviously they're giving out to...
some of the
but look, come on. There's some stuff in there that you can find useful. You've got some shades, you can wear them on the main stage.
Here we go.
That's your camera, straight into the camera.
Ready, watch.
Here we go.
I don't even...
Boom!
little kid. I'm going to replace Elton John now.
You've got some tissues in there. They could come in handy. Is that what's the spray for? Is that deodorant? Is that
Spray.
Impulse Teas. What the fuck is this,
Let's
mate? What the fuck is this?
You've
Teas.
got a VIP banner there. That'll get you in. That'll get you in.
Ooh,
So you
VIP.
don't have to wait for your trick stuff anymore. You just show that on the door. That'll get you straight backstage.
Let's get this fucker on.
You've got like a little. What's that?
Face gem.
Don't look at me. I didn't give you it. It was Felix.
I mean, Nana McKeon would have loved this. But that bitch is dead.
She did.
Right,
What else you got? What the fuck is
Is
that?
this a vitamin IV drink?
What even is
that's,
that?
That's alcohol. That's vodka.
No
isn't it?
way.
I think it. I mean, I think it is.
I
You can't just give out. You can't just give out bags of peeve, man. What are you doing?
We don't give them
fucking charging for this. There's a fucking economy crisis going on here, Raji.
Cost of living.
Yeah, nah, fuck. What is it?
They've gone down it.
Why
No,
it's like fucking ammonia.
Is it?
Cocktail, it's not vodka.
So what it should have been? It should have been like hand wash gel. You know what I mean?
Hand sanitizer.
I mean, it might be.
Let's have a
Negus.
go, hang on.
No, it's like a cocktail.
So we've got. Oh yeah.
It's quite nice, that.
Tell you what that tastes of. Benidorm.
I've never been to Benaz, like, but shout out to Benaz. Got some fucking love hearts, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So just imagine, right? You're at LooseCast.
Yeah.
And you've met a nice boy or a nice girl.
Yeah.
You can
Whatever
have
you're into, it's all fine.
I'm shy.
Oh,
Do
thanks,
something
mate.
about it. There you go. I'm not shy like.
Do you know what this is as well? I can recreate Ben Hemsley photo shoot.
Oh yeah, you can, right? Yeah, there you go, mate.
What am I getting?
My girl.
There we go. I'll
Just
take
for
that.
you, mate.
On that bombshell.
I will enjoy that.
They're horrible. On that bombshell, we'll call it, mate. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you at LooseFest on the 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going to have an epic summer.
Yeah.
Love the story about where the track came from. Tell us, when's your next track coming out? When's your next bit of music coming out?
Well, I've just written an absolute weapon of mass destruction with
Nice.
Will Atkinson.
Nice.
Went up to his studio in Glasgow and I showed it to Depeche from Ministry and obviously Columbia.
Yeah.
And they fucking love it. So
Nice.
that's going to be it's called Yesterday.
So how does that work? Would that go straight on a Ministry?
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, I've got so much music. Like,
Nice.
the struggles in the works.
Yeah.
But so there's a singer and songwriter who I've worked with previously called Abby Flynn. She's from London Way. I think she might actually be from Brighton, but she sent us some top lines
Nice.
the day before I went to this writing session with Will.
Yeah.
We'll just put this weapon together, mate. It's 144 BPM, but it's like garage meets Balearic trance. It's
Garage meets Balearic trance.
Her vocals are proper garagey, and we've written like a Balearic trance tune.
Nice.
It's really nice and it's unique as well. And I showed it to Depeche. Went, this is fucking wicked. So
Class.
that's going to be next, and then straight after that, I've got a tune called "Got No Money," which will be coming out probably in September. And then I've got stuff on Trick. I've got a release on Ben's label, which is called Standing Still.
Is that Bebe? Is that how it's?
Baby.
Bebe.
No,
Bebe.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
So I've got loads of music coming, but
Nice.
I just want to say, massive. Oh God, I want to say massive shout out.
I took mine out. I was like, I put mine in thinking I was being cool, and I was like,
I'm having a moment, yeah, with this fucking low.
I'm loving the glasses all,
Fizzing
by the
in
way.
my mouth. But I just want to just give a massive shout out to a few people because
Yeah.
they're integral to where I am today. Obviously, first and foremost is my mum for bringing us into this world and putting up with all the shit I put her through as a fucking troubled young
MCing out the window and
MCing
that,
out
yeah.
the window,
Yeah.
getting fucking asbos and that and blah 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 and getting brought home by the police and shit. But she's my hero.
yeah.
Master shout out obviously to Ben Hemsley. He taught us how to write music when we lived together. Patrick Toppin for giving us my break.
Yeah.
Massive shout out to my management, Phil Sales and Jasmine. They took a chance with me, and obviously they're from 360 who manage Calvin and loads of other, a plethora of artists, and they've been incredibly supportive of me and they've contributed massively to where I am. I'd like to shout out to Tommy Anderson from NGE, who's my agent. Also Patrick and Ben's agent. He took a massive chance on us and he's helped us so much, got us some massive shows.
Incredible, yeah.
And all the fans out there, I wish I could name everybody, but I'll be here all day. Without the fans, I would never be where I am. Massive shout out to you, Greg. Greg's came to a couple of me shows because obviously when I'm down in London, I always invite him. And it's this journey, mate. It's been incredible to get to this point, and I'm just so grateful for the people who stop and talk to us in the street. People ask for photos. People who send us messages, and people for supporting us and sticking by us because you've enabled us to fulfill my dream. and that's why when I'm in a position, I'm going to give back as much as I can, because without you guys, I'd never be here. So.
Boom. Well, we can't top that. So thank you very much for coming on, man. Appreciate you so much. We'll catch you soon. We'll catch you at LooseFest, August the 5th and 6th in the Trick Arena. See you later, man. Bye.
Cheers, guys. See you later. Good.